Hello, everyone. Welcome to the After Ascension podcast. This is episode number 17. I'd like to say thank you for being here with me today. It's been a little while since I uploaded. Maybe you're wondering if everything's all right with me. I just want to say yes, everything's fine. I just thought it was a good time with the newborn and all to kind of take a step back and reevaluate some of the things I want to do, some of the things I want to accomplish, and sort of come up with a game plan to make those dreams a reality. And that's exactly what I've done. I feel like I have a much clearer vision of what I need to do going forward, and I feel like being able to take a step back and pause for a minute has given me the opportunity to really anchor in a timeline for myself and my family that is really exciting and really special. So thank you very much for understanding. The wind of change is in the air. I know that is the case for many of you out there too, and I know that there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of anticipation, and rightfully so. We live in very exciting times. And I hope you really take a moment during the day to sit back and just appreciate being informed, being in the loop, in that cosmic feed that is relaying information to us, letting us know that everything is calm, everything is fine, everything is the way it should be, even when what's on the surface doesn't always seem that way. So thank you, higher self. Thank you, galactic family, for keeping us in the loop and always being straightforward with us and always reminding us why we came. And thank you for having patience with us as we collectively learn and remember and come together. Keep it up, you guys, and all of us down here promise that we will do our very best. But of course, you already knew that, so here's to making it so. Moving on, for our moment of silence, of peace, we are going to generate as much compassion as we can for anybody out there who's going through a rough patch, starseed or not. Doesn't matter what the circumstance is, doesn't matter what our perception is of their situation. We're not here to judge. We're just here to create light, and that's all I'm trying to do. And I know that's what you want most of all. So while I have you here, let's go ahead and do it. And in this moment that we are experiencing together, creating together, we're just going to imagine a release. Imagine burdens being lifted. Imagine, times in your life that you've had a resolution to a specific problem or issue that you were dealing with, and how satisfying that release was, how grateful you were to be on the other side of that, whatever it was. We want to recreate that experience, recreate that feeling, and project it out into the collective so that others may receive opportunity to overcome whatever challenge they may be dealing with. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right, thank you very much. And baby crying in the background, and that's fine because that's my life now, and I love it. Anyways, over the last few weeks, I had a lot of time to sit back and really think about what I wanted to relay to you guys the next time I got on the mic. And I was receiving the impression that what light workers and starseeds need to focus on right now is being of service. And you need to find whatever outlet, whatever way you can come up with to do this, because it's in this mindset that you're going to be driven towards your purpose. Because light workers and old souls are very, very purpose driven, and we want to be led to that purpose. And we're always asking, what should I be doing? What should I be doing? Where should I go? Where should I turn? How can I make a difference during this ascension process? And right now it's very important that you shift your dialogue with spirit into one of asking, how can you serve? How can I be of service? Because honestly, you've come a long way. You have a lot of skills. Maybe they're developed, maybe they're still laying underneath the surface, but you have a lot to offer. Probably much more than you know. And what happens when you accept your circumstances as they are and shift your focus to one of service, because ultimately that's what we're here to do. We're here to improve this place. We're here to get it back to the way it should be. And we're here to facilitate this shift in the miraculous, dynamic way that only we can. But what happens when you shift your mindset into one of service? Spirit's going to start pitching ideas to you. And what does that mean? So on this path, this entire time, you've just been searching for this purpose, this revelation that's going to come down to you and put you exactly where you want to be. And that path has done a great service to you. It's put you in a really high potential position to receive information that comes through and capitalize. And not only that, but have the skills and the know-how to accomplish whatever it is you set your mind to. And the truth is that if you ask Spirit, what should I be doing? What am I here to do? They are going to respond to you every single time. What do you want to do? It's all free choice. And yes, there are potentials of what you will do. Some high, some low, so many that it's really impossible to be specific with you. And honestly, I'm going to steal a line from Doctor Strange here. If you know what's going to happen, it won't happen. That's why Spirit isn't always direct and straightforward with you. As in, if you have your own channels open, or if you go to a reader, it's not going to be, hey, you're going to go on this day at this specific time to this street corner and you're going to meet this person. It doesn't work like that. You'll mess it up. Everything you do, everything you create has to manifest from the flow state. And what is that? That is when you are in complete, total coherence with who you are, where you came from, and what you came here to do. You've done your work. You've got no baggage. Your mind is clear. There's no chatter. It's just clear, conscious you. And it can take some a really long time to get to that point. But it doesn't matter how long it took you to get there. What matters is that you got there. And you were always going to. And now that you've arrived, your question to Spirit should be, how can I serve? And you're going to be flooded with ideas, flooded with creative potential. And the vision you receive is going to be one of you successful, accomplishing whatever it is you set out to do. But the trick is to hold on to that vision. Not everything is going to come together for you tomorrow. Put one foot in front of the other, get your mind out of the way, and create. When you think about the master artists, the master musicians, whatever the case may be, let it be known that many people out there had that same creative potential. They saw the vision of the work in their head, but the idea of putting one step in front of the other to get to that end point seems so overwhelming of a task that they never even started. No. The master saw the image in their head, put the brush to the canvas, one stroke at a time, created that masterpiece. So wherever you are now, whatever you're doing, once that feed of creativity starts flowing through you, promise yourself that you'll pull the trigger. Promise yourself that you will do a little bit today, you will do a little bit tomorrow, and if you don't, it's not a big deal because you'll do it the next day. Take the pressure off and don't let yourself get locked into anybody else's timeline but your own and the one you want to create, the one you want to manifest and latch onto. Because essentially in this now moment, as in right here, right now, all of these timelines are swirling around you And they are all based completely on what you are doing in the now moment. This truly is where your power lies. If you've always wanted to be an artist, the moment you decide to take action and you sit down and you put that paintbrush to that canvas, you are coming into alignment with the timeline that sees you become the master painter, the timeline that sees you achieve your greatest creative potential. And if you tell yourself, well, I don't have time, or, I don't have the skills that I need to accomplish that, well, then you're not trusting what Spirit's been telling you all this time. What you've been told is that when you leap, your wings will be there. And I've said that on the podcast before, but it's going to be said again and again because it rings so true. You're not going to get your wings while you're standing on the cliff looking out. You're just not. And as soon as you accept that and understand that every skill, every potential already exists within you because you've been there, it belongs to you. And when you set your intention that you're going to accomplish something, those skills and that know-how are going to come forward and you're going to surprise even yourself. Is there a greater feeling on earth than sitting down and creating something and then looking back and being like, holy shit, I can't believe I made that? And it's something that you can't look away from. You want more. And when you get into that flow state, that creative space where all your potential exists, you'll know, because time is going to fly by so fast. An hour is going to seem like a minute. You are going to, do whatever you have to do during the day, and you're going to get into that studio or whatever it is, that creative space that you find yourself in. And, before you know it, it's going to be 1, 2, 3 in the morning, and you're not going to want to stop. And when you ask how you can serve, you're going to tap into this potential to make your life better, because as you improve yourself, as you raise your own vibration, as you become more fulfilled with who you are and what you're doing here, you're assisting everybody else. Because as you may know, everything you do as an old soul is amplified. It has weight to it. And whether you're in a good or bad place, what you do makes a dent in this consciousness, good or bad. That is why Spirit has so much patience during this process, waiting for you to come around. Because if things start coming back to you, if things start coming online for you when you're not ready, it can be a huge catastrophe for everybody, not just yourself, for all of those around you. So now I ask you this: are you worthy? Do you feel like you deserve to move on to this next chapter? Damn right you do. You're an old soul in the new energy. You were literally made for this. So, what do you do now? Is it too cliche to say surrender? I don't think so. There's a reason that's repeated in channeling over and over and over again. It's the 3D part of you that wants to sit back and overthink and overcomplicate everything. And if you don't surrender, you're always going to be swimming upstream. It's the 5D version of yourself who gets in that tube, sipping on a drink, and just simply floats down the river. Which version of this story makes more sense to you? You're fine to keep fighting the current if that's what you choose. But I know I would rather be kicking back, getting some sun, enjoying the water. There's no choice. There's no other option. I'm all in on me, and you should be all in on yourself. And once you let it really sink in that yourself is a whole lot bigger and a whole lot more complex and can see so much more than these two little eyes looking forward can, there should be no hesitation in how fast you get your act together. Take that hand that's being extended to you and have patience with our family who are running around in these vessels, maybe not necessarily on the path of awakening, but are doing their best to live and figure out what this experience is they're having. you're a grown up, you're not allowed to really place judgment on the kids that are running around the playground, pushing each other around. It is a delicate balance that we have to strike between being our most authentic self in an environment that, seems very rough around the edges, but just takes some time to really let it sink in that the universe knows what it's doing. Just like it knows what it's doing with you and is in your corner as a collective, this is what it does. This is what all of this, when you go outside, look at the night sky, what's going on here is what all of that is for. And if you're someone who thinks, this little blue marble in this vast universe is really insignificant and not really thought about or cared for, well, you really need to re-examine how complicated all of these systems are and this process that's in place in order to get us to where we are. And sure, not all planets out there with consciousness make it to where we are. What we're doing here is truly special. And like I said before, it's maybe a little rough around the edges, but if you're a cosmic being with an infinite amount of time to fill, this is what you do. You come to planets, you take on these linear vessels, in this case, that are, designed to measure and calculate this reality and exist here as long as possible in a state of separation in order to return to just where you came from before. And yes, that's the very, very simplified version of this process, but that's such a mind-blowing thought that it's really hard to sit back and see all this infinite space and time and know that every single bit, every atom, every particle, every cell is known and cared for and loved, because it's love that is at the center of all things. That's the motivation for all of this. And, there's an even bigger spiritual cliche for you, but it's true. And we spend a lot of time overcomplicating this process, trying to figure it out just by spinning the wheels in our mind. And, that's only going to get us so far. What would happen if we just simply sat back and admired the design without judgment, with forgiveness towards anything or anyone who we feel has been unfair before? There's your mastery. It is in that state that you call forward the return of everything that belongs to you. And suddenly the pressure is released and all falls into place. Thank you very much for your time, my family. Love you, and so it is.